Thank you for joining me for our first Saturday morning day text. We are going to start doing day texts on Saturday at 6 a.m. And I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and change the weekday day text schedule to 6 a.m. We usually do it at 5 a.m. Primarily to give people around the world the chance to be a part of the day text before their day ends. But what I'm thinking is that 6 o'clock will potentially make it better for more people. And um, if people around the world who are, maybe it's getting to be a little bit too late at 6 a.m. where they are, then, you can just wake up to the day text, So that way it's a true day text in the sense that you're waking up to it like when we do it, or if you live on the west coast of the United States. So I'm going to start Monday with the 6 a.m. schedule. 6 a.m. schedule for day texts, and we'll keep doing the Saturday day text as well. So I'll keep reminding everybody, but I'm going to try to just keep it at 6 a.m. Monday through Saturday for day texts. And then on Sunday, we do, live stream shows either that center around a specific topic, like our CW Jaw Talk shows, or we do what's called open session. And so it's where we pretty much talk about anything, but there'll be some topics arranged to get the discussion started. But really, it's open for anything. I just tend to start it with one or two subjects so that we can get into a discussion and then from there decide, what to talk about. Okay, so let's get to our day text for James. We're going to be reading in James chapter 4, verses 5 through 8. I'll read through the text. Sometimes I stop and make an application. Sometimes I just read right through and then make the application. It depends. So I'll get started with verse 5, and then we'll make an application after the reading, talk a little bit more about tomorrow's open session show, and then we'll be on our way. Okay, so here we go. James chapter 4, verse 5 states, "Or do you suppose the sacred writing has no purpose behind it when it speaks to this issue? The Spirit which he placed in you pushes you to envy." Okay, what does he mean by that? Well, I put a note there. Let's take a look at it. A note to the portion of verse 5 where it says, "The Spirit which he placed in you pushes you to envy." In my note, I state that this is likely a reference to the spirit of a person that is placed in us at birth or conception, which causes us to sin at times because of our inheritance from Adam and Eve. So like Psalm 104 says, if Jah sends forth his spirit, we are created. And so the sending forth or placing in of God's spirit in a human being is what keeps us alive. And that spirit, because we have received life through our first human parents who chose on their own what to do versus listening to Jah, that same spirit is in us. And though we've learned much since then, we've also developed other traits that make it more difficult for us to properly and fully use the knowledge we've received, the knowledge of good and bad. We know that. We're just not ready to use it in all circumstances. We're not strong enough. We weren't ready for it when we received it. So we act in ways that go beyond what we're prepared for, regardless of whether we know what is right or wrong. And so we make mistakes in the course of that decision making because of our desire. Not because we can't tell it's wrong or right. We just desire what's wrong at times because of the way we have developed as humans. Okay, so verse 6, "But the mercy," or blessing, goodwill, he gives to you is greater than the spirit which envies. Therefore, the sacred writing says, God stands in battle against arrogant people, but he gives mercy to those who are humble. Verse 7, so then submit yourselves to God, but resist the devil, and he will stay away from you. Verse 8, you must stand right next to God, and he will stand right next to you. Sinners, or those of us who are making bad choices that we know are not correct in the Jah way, cleanse your hands. Those of you living with two opposing beliefs, purify your hearts. Which one's it going to be? You can continue to follow after your own desires, which lead us to death and destruction, and in that sense follow the devil, because it's the path that he has laid out for us, to resist Jah, to go a non-Jah way. Or we can submit ourselves to God who made us, to enjoy and to exist among all these things. He gave us the things we have. He knows what we're supposed to be doing. And so today we see the same things. We see not only people rebelling against Jah and choosing to follow the devil, but what do we see in the family arrangement? People rebelling against fathers, breaking up families, promoting the mother over the father, the exact opposite of the way we were made. But that's what the devil pushes. See, he's trying to undo everything that was done right. And all it does is destroy. He can't do anything right, because the only thing right would be Jah's way. He doesn't want that. That's why he chooses the opposite of almost everything, because he can't choose Jah's way at this point. That would be basically saying Jah's correct, right? That's not what he is here for. He is resisting Jah. He's trying to prove you do not need to follow Jah's way. He's already been shown to be wrong, obviously, but there's nothing else he can do. He's not going to submit himself back to Jah at this point. He's too arrogant, too vain. You can see humans who refuse to submit to other humans today when they know they're wrong. They know they've damaged them, and they still refuse to acknowledge it or do what's right. That's the devil. It's the same thing. You should not think it odd at all that there are spirit beings with these kinds of characteristics. That's what we have. If we show those characteristics, they have them on a much higher level, according to the conditions and authority in which they exist. But these traits, this arrogance and resistance to Jah, they're the ones primarily operating that way. And then their influence filters down to humanity. And of course, since the Garden of Eden, it's been active on its own through the progression of sin. But the spirits have been here since then as well, good and bad. And so the good ones try to get us to follow the way we were made, not abuse our bodies or hurt other people. And the bad spirits, they want you to do what they want you to do, which is usually the non-Jah way, right? Otherwise, they'd be helping us cultivate a spirit of mercy and love. That's not what you see in the world today. We see division, hatred, all the things that you would associate with beings trying to control you and divide you and keep you from praising Jah. That's the world. That's what we exist in at this time, and why there's so many problems. It's not Jah. It's not because people are following the Jah way. It's because they're following the non-Jah way. Whether it has to do with sex, anything. If you're not following Jah's way, you're going to end up suffering. There's no way out. There's no other correct way. You know what I'm saying? There's not like Jah's telling us to do this, and oh, there's this correct path over here. Jah didn't tell us about that. Let's go there. No, Jah is not hiding hidden paths. He's not keeping you from the right way. It's right in front of you. Everybody, we all know the way. Some of us just refuse to accept it or even acknowledge it. Others acknowledge it and try to accept it. Others accept it and move along that path. That's why you have to stand right next to God. And then he will stand next to you. How close do you think the devil's going to get to you with God standing right there? He's going to take off running. That's why all these bad people who try to get to me and get me to be a part of their really hurtful ways, terribly hurtful, they can't stick around because they know I serve Jah. and they want to do too much evil stuff. It's just, that's what they love. They have come to love badness. And yet if that same badness came to them, they'd be like, get out of here, I don't want that. But they love to bring the badness to other people, you see. So they're hypocrites, total hypocrites. And that's why they cannot come next to Jah, because they know Jah will see their hypocrisy. There's no way they can do that unless they're prepared to admit their mistakes and stop, turn around, cleanse your hands, stop living with these conflicting beliefs. Show mercy, be humble, and start doing the things you were made to do. It's not hard to see. Just take a look at yourself in the mirror. Should be pretty obvious. We have things we are clearly made to do and things we're clearly not made to do. So if you can't figure that out, then you might have a more fundamental problem. Because I think it's pretty obvious that we were made to love, to help other people, and to praise Jah. That's it. And that's enough. That's a lot. That's everything. What do we need all this other stuff for? These garbage can movies, this sick, trashy music. Oh, maybe I should do some music dumps or something. It's just garbage. I've never seen a society. Well, I mean, I don't want to say never in terms of things like seeing a society in certain ways, but because then you only have so much exposure to different societies. But what I'm experiencing, from movies to TV to news to music, it's just garbage. It is filled with the sickest trash that I could imagine trying to put to music or video. It just doesn't make any sense. They promote blood and sacrificing and all this garbage stuff that brings you closer to death with every single time you participate into it. And it's like they're running to death. They can't wait to be destroyed. There's nothing that comes from these things. These horribly sexually immoral movies, violent sports. Everything is set up in opposition to Jah and to abuse humans and to play out this ridiculous role of acting a way you weren't made to act. Everyone just looks so stupid playing these roles of idiots running around acting like non-Jah images. It's disgusting in almost every way. That's why I can't even get these garbage dumps done anymore on time. I just can't stand them. I literally cannot stand this sick, filthy trash. It's not entertaining. It's sick. And so let me get back to these texts here. Talking about the devil resisting him. All he cares about is misleading you. Okay? You think the devil wants you to get life everlasting from Jah, the Father, when he just threw it away? No way. You think he's going to try to help you get what he didn't get? That's arrogant beings do not do that. Okay? They never want you to have what they don't have. Never. That's why they're constantly taking it from you or trying to be arrogant in ways that make them think they're better than you. If they think they're better than you, you think they want you living forever when they can't? Oh, man. So these people today, they run around and they get involved in all this ridiculous stuff. I just look at it and I think, I get weak sometimes, and sometimes I do dumb things, but what is that? Who could consciously get involved in something just so sick and dumb that has no real value, right? It's not like, other than the filthy paper money they like to give you for destroying yourself and helping destroy society. That's it. You just get more filthy money to go buy material things that's never enough. And so you fall into the same trap of the pharaohs, right? You want all the things you can get before you die, and then you die, and then you don't take any of your things with you. So it's a trap. It's a fantasy. And only the dumbest people fall victim to it. Sorry, it's true. We're all a little stupid at times, but you'd have to practically be retarded to get involved in some of these ridiculous shows and programs and devil worshiping and just sick trash. It's garbage. There's almost nothing worth watching anymore. That's why we do these videos, because we're going to promote things that are worth watching. We're going to promote Jah worship. We're not going to promote this sick, sack of trash that this pathetic world around us is promoting. That's it. That's all they have. This garbage of demeaning humans, blaspheming God, using everything you can but the right thing you should be using, doing the opposite, destroying families, making light of sexual involvement, using the anus as a sex organ. Okay, it's a toxic waste opening. That's where toxic human waste comes out. You understand? Okay, they're using it for sex. And then they're making others who have sex the right way feel bad for not promoting anal abuse. Get out of here. That stuff is sick, it's terrible, and everyone knows it. There's not like some hidden passage in the anus that you're supposed to be going through and having sex with, okay? It's incorrect. It is the most obvious incorrect thing probably of all sins that exist. You can tell visually, by smell, by anything, right? I mean, we can't even believe we're talking about this. It's really literally unbelievable that I'm even discussing human beings made in the image of Jah mating with their waste removal organ. That tells you right there how low we've come. So stay away from these people. Let them have it. Let them destroy their rear end. But they're not going to destroy our rear end. And we're going to try to save as many as we can. I mean, they promote pedophilia, these sick movie producers, all of them. I mean, I can't believe I ever really spent as much time and money as I have supporting any of these people and their sick, disgusting ways, all their terribly horrible, rotten movies and films, and the music today. It's just sick trash. Ariana Grande is a slut bomb. Cardi B is a slut bomb. Lady Gaga is a slut bomb. That means they throw their bodies around in the worst, most disgusting ways, demeaning women, demeaning themselves, and blaspheming Jah with their horrible, rotten, and disgusting lyrics. And everything they say that promotes everything but Jah in the dumbest of ways you can imagine. You have Ariana Grande, who's married to Pete Davidson for what, 2 weeks? They get tattoos, and the next thing you know, they're through. That's how stupid they are, you understand? They have no idea what they're doing. Yet they're promoted as this icon, this entertainment icon of garbage. And all these kids and people are listening to this sick filth, soaking it in, and destroying themselves. Ah, man, I've had it with these people. I think it's sick and disgusting. And if I ever get a chance to talk openly to any of these people on any of their shows about any of these things, well, you just heard it. That's how it's going to go. So I'm not tolerating any of this ridiculous stuff. If people want to act like they're retarded and they don't know what they're doing when they do, I'm just going to call them out on it or leave them be. Everyone knows what they're doing. Let's stop pretending, okay? Because you just look stupid when you do that. Let's accept our role. Let's accept our responsibility. If we do wrong things, if we're too close to the devil, get away, get next to God, and then you'll be right again. So, but we're surrounded. I mean, I'm dealing with these garbage dumps and things, so it's a lot on my mind. And I see these videos and these stupid morons like Ariana Grande. She's got to be the dumbest female singer I've seen. I guess, you know, most of them are retarded because look at what they do. They throw their bodies out in some of the most immoral, disgusting ways you can imagine. They allow themselves to be abused and get involved in satanic rituals and things that completely demean any kind of moral virtue or anything having to do with God. So what exactly do they want us to do? The same things? You know, that's offensive. It's starting to offend me that these ridiculous people are allowing these garbage cans to teach all this sick stuff through their music and videos. I mean, it's now reached the point where if I could, I would sue the entire entertainment industry for destroying society. I mean, if I could do it, if there was some way, I'm not a litigious person, but I'm so bothered by their ignorance, or really their awareness of how dumb they are, by continuing to do the things that they do that everyone can see is stupid, trashy, and just ridiculous. It does nothing good. It takes away from society. Movies like The Joker. That's some moron idiot in a clown suit running around killing people and making it look cool. How about we just kill him right now and move on with our lives? Okay? No one would allow a clown kook like that to run around and do that much damage. It's garbage. They're filling your mind with sick trash. Okay? And that's why I'm relating it to these texts, because if we don't do something, if we don't, remember, God stands in battle. Okay? We're not here to fight with people literally, but figuratively, we are in a war. We are in a war against spirits and humans who appear to love abuse. Okay? I know people who have done things, kidnapped people, and done terrible things, and they refuse to apologize or do what's right. They just can't. It's like their soul has been burned into resisting Jah. And there's no way, then they can't do the right thing. Or if they can, they're making it so difficult that there's no point in spending any time with them. You have to move on. At some point, if someone won't act on what they know is true, you have to move on. They'll just pull you back into their uncertainty. And then the next thing you know, you won't know what to believe anymore. And then you'll be right back to the people who are using the anus as a sex organ, right? You won't know. How do you know it's wrong? Why is it wrong? Well, it's clearly wrong because that's not what it's designed for. You want me to show you a textbook? It illustrates. It's got pictures and everything. This is not hard to figure out. Yet, what is it they're promoting? The very things that are not hard to figure out are wrong. That's what they're promoting. So please try not to support this garbage. These garbage dump reviews I'm doing, I'm not doing that to promote these movies. I'm doing it to expose them because it's sick trash. And it's damaging our society. It's damaging our children, damaging women. They have no idea what their role is anymore. I have not met a real woman, and I couldn't even tell you the last time I met in person whom I would consider a real woman. Someone I met and I'm like, whoa, a woman. I'm not sure what they are anymore. There's a lot of females out there. And the same problem with men. We have a lot of males. And I haven't met many men. I met a few, though, because I work with some and I see them more often than women. But women, I don't know where they've gone. They've vanished. They've been either destroyed by society or they just don't exist the way they used to, because there aren't any women who are trying to help men praise Jah. Not that I can see. And I'm not talking about people I can't see, like Betsy or others. People who want to praise Jah. I'm talking about people around me in an area that's very well populated, and there's just no one. There's no one who seems to be interested in why we're here. What are we doing here, right? Do you even wonder about that? Do you even know why you're here, what your purpose is? I can't find anyone other than you people. And that's why I do these texts. So but don't worry, I'm not gonna let it get me down. I'm trying to impress upon you the importance of resisting the devil. He's very clever, and he will involve you with different people in ways they'll try to change you. You change them, and if they don't want to change, out of here. You move them right out of your life immediately, okay? You give them a few chances. You work with them. We help all people. But if they're trying to take away from your life, immediate removal. No hesitation. Out of here. Remember Jesus to Peter. We don't have time for this stuff. We don't have time for this garbage can world that only promotes the sickest, saddest trash you can find. Now, whoever's the grossest, sickest, most blaspheming person, that's who they want. That's not who we want. We want people who are going to try to do what's right. Not people who think they're perfect in every way, but you're aware of the things you need to try to do. You want to serve God. You want to help people. You don't want to be this sick sack of garbage that's promoting everything bad about the world or everything opposite of why we're here and how we were made. So when I read these kinds of texts where God is in battle against arrogant people and we have to resist the devil, stand next to God, not having two opposing beliefs, it makes me think of these things because the world makes it so hard on us. It's not like you're going to turn on the TV or the radio or internet and get a good steady dose of Jah talk, right? They're not there for that. They're not here to promote your faith or what would promote faith, good reasons. They're here to create this fantasy and to have you become a part of it and to pretend that the world that's actually going on around you doesn't exist. And then just stay in this fantasy until you don't exist. So we need to avoid that. We need to not let these people destroy us or destroy what we're trying to build. If they want to be a part of it, if they want to work with us, if you want to do good and help people, great. That's what we're here for. You're going to promote garbage and sick immorality and all these terrible things that do nothing but damage families and hurt people. No thanks. That has no value now. And it will have no value whatsoever in the future. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about tomorrow's open session. I'm going to put up a few things with the open session notice, and so we'll be discussing texts that have to do with the Passover and Jesus' use of it to institute a new covenant or agreement that would lead to the formation of a kingdom that would bring about God's will for the earth. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Oh, believe me, I'm not saying there aren't any good women. I'm talking about where I am. And I'm sure there's some. I haven't met every woman, But listen, I've met quite a few over the past decade. Decade or so, or more so, since I've been more aware of women and looking for quality women. And I have to be honest and say, maybe it's just me in terms of my belief in Jah and the things that I do, and they just don't have the same interest. But that's what I mean, right? Where's the woman who wants to worship Jah? Where's the woman who at least wants to show respect to God versus glorifying these disrespectful people who do nothing but promote this trash? Where is that woman? You show me that woman who's promoting Jah, or at least is respectful to God, more so than she is to these pathetic people doing these songs and movies and all this entertainment garbage. Show me that woman, and I'll be happy to follow her in praising Jah. I just can't find her. I can't even find someone who will help me praise Jah, let alone me find someone who's already doing it and I want to help them. So believe me, I'm aware of people, and I don't look for persons who are perfect or even who are trying in excessive ways. I'm just looking for a little humility, right? A little bit of awareness about God. Some level of understanding that you have a future that's heading straight for you. Someone who's not in a fantasy all the time and totally unaware of what's coming. So it's not easy. Maybe it's not easy for you women to find a man like that. I understand. But I'm a man. So I'm not looking for another man in that way. I look for other brothers, men in the sense of praising Jah. And I have many of those around me, or at least in association with me. But there seems to be a problem with men and women trying to have a relationship and also develop that relationship while praising Jah. There's either too many things that come against you when you do that, or the people are just, one or both are not strong enough to resist because it's hard. The world is not going to promote that kind of relationship. So it's not like the most simple thing, but it is, because it's easy to see what's right. It's just difficult to do because of the way the world makes it. All this sick garbage that gets in your mind and promotes the very opposite of what you're supposed to be doing, either as a man or a woman. So we have that working against us. That's why I went off a little bit earlier on all these things. It's making it more difficult. The world is making it more difficult for us. It's not helping us. It's not making it better for us to teach people about Jah and the history of our world and humankind. They almost never do that. You have to go to like the Ancient Aliens shows for that, for anything remotely close to stuff like that, right? And they're not Christian necessarily. Some of them maybe, but that's about as best as you can get nowadays, other than our channel. Yeah, there's some other good stuff too. But by and large, you know what I'm saying, right? I mean, you could, I challenge you to look up the listing of movies in your area today. What's currently in the theater? Just look at it. And you tell me what they're promoting. Every single movie either has murder, death, betrayal, spiritism, homosexuality, which is abuse of the body, and the resistance to the Yahweh, pansexual. I mean, look, it's not hard to come up with their top 5 main themes for these movies. So this is what we're facing. And in any case, we can make it better. We can make the world a better place, and we should. I'm going to try. I encourage you to do the same. I'm fed up with these entertainment venues and their sickness. Something has to be done. I mean, we need to start all over again for sure, entertainment-wise. I mean, that Hollywood and that whole, all of their associated entertainment components, that has to go. That has to be completely wiped out. It's a pedo sanctuary. It is probably the sickest source of garbage on the planet, because they send it out through all of these different mediums. So hopefully Jah will, I know he will, and I pray that he will bring justice to these people swiftly, especially Hollywood and their sick leaders. All of them. I know he knows, and he's going to get them at the right time, and I pray that time comes. I mean, I'm almost at the point of being distressed about how gross and disgusting these people have become, and their terrible forms of entertainment. Just low-level thinking, right? It's so low-level. I want to elevate and get to the level where Jah wants us to be, so that we can think of him and all the good things that he made us to be. Not all these terrible things that the world tries to shove into our mind so that we cannot think about Jah. Okay, so that's a good Saturday morning text for us. I'll be back Monday, 6 a.m. Let's try the 6 a.m. stuff. And then tomorrow, open session, 8:30. We'll talk about the Passover and Jesus' use of it for the kingdom that will come, and bring about Jah's will for the earth, so that we don't have to watch any more of these terrible, horrible, rotten, and disgusting movies again.